Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. I want to highlight in today's video 7 new Steam PC games that are coming out tomorrow. With so many games being released on PC on a daily basis, you've got literally tens, maybe even hundreds of games sometimes released on PC in a single day, that I feel like it's important to highlight some of the more interesting releases. I'm not saying all of these games you're going to want to pick up on day one, but they're interesting games nonetheless. Some of them are memes. I'm going to try to highlight the big budget releases first, games that I think more of you guys would be interested in, but I also want to highlight some games that are definitely going to go under the radar. And as you guys are going to see with the first game, we're kicking things off with a gigantic meme. This is one that a lot of people actually talked about, and that is I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. Now, this is a free game. Feel like this is going to take the Twitch streaming scene and maybe YouTube uploads by storm, just because people are going to play it for all the memes. I remember when this was announced, I was constantly getting hit up about it by people asking me what the hell is this, and I was like, you know what it is. And just to give you guys an idea, the tags for this game right now, there's dating sim, there's anime, there's visual novels, those are also applicable. But if you go on the Steam page, popular user-defined tags for this product, so the Steam users are the ones that tag this, masterpiece. I'm sure they were being serious about that, but it notes, welcome to the most delicious dating simulator ever created. Do you have what it takes to be the business partner of and win the heart of the most famous chicken salesman of all time? Play to find out. Go ahead, Colonel Sanders is waiting. So this is a game that's literally published by KFC. It's a free game. It notes 9 lovable characters, multiple hours of playthrough, dateable Colonel Sanders, a secret ending, secret recipes, cooking battles, battles, earn a degree from a fictional culinary school, 11 herbs and spices, cute miniature food, and officially created by KFC. No, really. Yes, it is that ridiculous. I'm sure at this point the majority of you guys have at least heard about it, but yeah, this game is out tomorrow. If you guys want some memes, it's gonna be a free release, and I'm actually interested to see what the Steam reviews turn out to be, because these are going to be some of the most ridiculous Steam reviews that I think Steam has ever seen. But nonetheless, that's one meme that I wanted to cover right off the bat. Next up, let's get into some games that are actually hotly anticipated. First up, we have The Surge 2. Yes, the follow-up to Deck 13's The Surge, which is a game that I thought was pretty good. And of course, Deck 13 also did Lords of the Fallen, which I feel like more people played Lords of the Fallen than The Surge, maybe because Lords of the Fallen is dirt cheap whenever that game goes on sale. In the case of The Surge, that game still goes for like a hefty price point. But everything I've seen thus far out of The Surge 2, I have really dug. From the stylish gameplay, beautiful visuals, and just that general sci-fi setting, I think this game has a lot of potential. Now, obviously, these games often see comparisons to Souls titles. Deck 13 is kind of built on that. Lords of the Fallen was very similar, as was The Surge. The Surge 2 does have its own unique elements, and because it does employ that sci-fi presentation, I just think inherently it is going to be a little bit different. Now, here's an interesting note. This week marks the release of not one, but 2 Souls-like games. We have The Surge 2, and then later this week, Bandai Namco is putting out Code Vein. Those are 2 Souls-like games, however, they have distinct presentation styles. Code Vein, more of an anime look. In the case of The Surge 2, obviously, this is catered more towards a Western audience. So it'll be interesting to see how those 2 games fare with one another, and also I want to note that this game is priced at $49.99 on Steam. I don't know if Green Man Gaming and other outlets are selling it for a little bit cheaper, but hey, $10 off your typical $60 price point, that's something I can definitely get behind. Even still, $50 is incredibly expensive for a new game release, and people are just going to be very selective when they drop $50 to $60 on a game. If it was priced at $40, I think that would be a little bit more compelling for people, but still at $50, that's a hefty price point. But hey, if we can save $10 on game release, if we can normalize a $50 price point for a lot of titles, that's something I'm absolutely not going to complain about, because yes, it's down to $50 on Steam, but that also opens the door for a Green Man Gaming or another e-tailer to have it a little bit cheaper, so you have to keep that in mind as well. But nonetheless, The Surge 2 has a lot of interesting gameplay elements. Visually, again, it looks gorgeous, and I do see some potential here, and this is the kind of game where I think, yes, there's not a lot of anticipation heading into the release, but let's see how critics receive the game. Let's see how the general PC gaming audience receives the game, and I think if they receive it well, it's a game that could potentially just garner wildfire, just because we haven't seen a Souls game in a little while. Sekiro, yeah, that came out, but that was all the way back in March, and that's a different style of game. I think The Surge 2 has some potential, so again, it'll be out tomorrow. Specifically on Steam, it is noted that the game's gonna release in 5 hours, so officially you could probably start playing it even sooner. Next up, here's one that some of you guys might be interested in. As a part of the Humble RPG bundle, a little game called Cat Quest was in there, and Cat Quest was received incredibly well. It's a very charming RPG where, yes, you play as cats, And now we have the follow-up title, Cat Quest 2. Following the phenomenal success of Cat Quest, developers the Gentle Bros return to the world of Felongard, a fantastical land under threat from a continuing war. It's a 2D open-world action RPG set in a fantasy realm of cats and dogs under the threat from a continuing war between the cats of Felongard and the advancing dogs of the Lupus Empire. Cat Quest 2 tells the tale of two kings brought together against their will on a journey of awesome discovery to reclaim their thrones. Play as both a cat and a dog as you explore their kingdom solo or with a friend, quest in a world filled with magic, curious monsters, and go on a cat venture like never before. The game touts a brand new story set in the world of Felongard and beyond, all new Switch and co-op gameplay. Play as both cat and dog, either alone or with a friend, new weapon types, master swords, staves, and more to become a formidable fighter, more spells bringing even more fury judgment to your foes, new passive abilities whose attributes can be mixed and combined for endless possibilities. Exciting and varied dungeons filled with new traps and obstacles, making every pounce into the unknown a fresh experience. Visually, it's got a very charming look to it as well, and I think that complements the overall style of the game. And again, Cat Quest 2 is due out tomorrow. I know some of you guys are playing through Cat Quest because of the Humble RPG bundle, but that's another one to be on the lookout for. Next up, we have the release of a game that's surrounded by a lot of skepticism, and that is Contra Rogue Core. Now, this is coming from Konami, everybody's favorite game publisher. Yes, that is obviously a joke after what happened with Metal Gear Solid 5 and then that Metal Gear Survive game. Yeah, not everybody loves Konami, but Konami are trying to get back into the gaming scene, and they are bringing out Contra Rogue Core, which fundamentally does have some differences from your typical Contra game, and it was noted that Contra Rogue Core, for those of you guys on PC planning on picking up this game, you do need a controller to play this game. Playing with a keyboard and mouse isn't even supported, so that's a little bit of a bummer. I think people looking to play Contra are gonna play with a controller, but you should always have the option available, considering like freaking racing games have options to play with keyboard and mouse. Contra Rogue Core probably should have had a keyboard and mouse option, but nonetheless, the game said 2 years after the Alien Wars ended, the damn city erupts from the final battleground. From the midst of the chaos, a group of scoundrels emerge. They might not be your typical heroes, but they're here to save the world or get rich trying, featuring action-packed battles, customizable gear, gigantic bosses, and explosive multiplayer action. Local and online co-op action for up to 4 players, 4 outrageous characters, each with their own weird style and colorful attitude, and that's really one of the notable elements of the game. The characters are so freaking distinct, and that's a little cool. Build over 100 weapons and augment your character with bionic body parts earned in mission. Character progression, weapon development, and customization ensure extensive replayability. Crazy new heroes and big bosses join the Contra universe. Pre-order to get 2 t-shirt skins for Hungry Beast, one featuring the iconic duo Bill and Lance, the other featuring the classic Contra logo. The game will be priced at $39.99, and you can pay $45 to get the base game along with the season pass, so that's an option as well. This is probably the kind of game that I would highly recommend you to wait and see how the reviews turn out, see how the general reception is. But with Steam refunds being a thing, if you're so eager to play Contra and you want to try it out, then by all means check it out at $39.99. But it is a game that I would recommend you to go in with a little bit of skepticism. Here's a game that's been out on consoles for a little bit. It's of a notable IP, but it wasn't received that well, and that is Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. So this one has been out on consoles for a couple of months now, and generations of Power Rangers collide across the multiverse's 25-year history. Experience authentic but reimagined Power Rangers gameplay. This easy-to-learn but hard-to-master fighting game is designed to welcome players of all skill levels. It is a budget release at $19.99, and there were some solid elements to this game. I think the main issue with it was from a presentation standpoint. Visually, the game is not all too good, and even some of the elements like the sound effects and things like that aren't the best. Fundamentally, however, it is a well-designed fighting game, so there you have it. $19.99 for it is a palatable price point, but I think this is going to be one that does go on sale relatively quickly, and fighting games on PC is always a little bit of a hard sell, given that a big element to a fighting game is the longevity of its player base, and unfortunately that is always going to be a problem on PC without full crossplay. Even a highly touted fighter like Dragon Ball FighterZ only has 900 people playing as of the recording of this video. How do you think a game like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is going to do in 6 to 8 months? It's probably not going to have a sizable community, so that's always a little bit of a bummer. And lastly, I do want to cover 2 games that hardly anyone is talking about. They're just games that I dug up on Steam, so if you want to click off this video right now, feel free. However, these are the kind of games I always potentially point to whenever people say that there are no games on Steam, and whatever the case may be on that, so some of you guys might find interest even if you don't pick up these games day one. First up, I do want to mention mention Noita. Noita is touted as a magical action roguelite set in a world where every pixel is physically simulated. Fight, explore, melt, burn, freeze, and evaporate your way through the procedurally generated world using spells you've created yourself. It is going into early access tomorrow, and I always dig these games with these pixel graphics. I love games with these old school presentations, and I know a lot of games these days are going with the pixel graphics, so how much can you say it's old school? More so than it's new school, but nonetheless, this looks like an interesting title. As an early access game, obviously keep your expectations in line initially, but it could develop into something of interest. And lastly, I want to give a shout to another game with a very interesting look, and that is Chernobyl, the Untold story. The game is set in 1986, the Chernobyl disaster. The story that we'll see in the game resembles a delusional dream of a man exhausted by radiation, but whether it is nonsense or the nightmarish reality of the Soviet era, you decide. It's touted as an open-world 2D game, and it notes a terrifying and intriguing story, addictive gameplay based on the best old-school shooting galleries. Pripyat, recreated in pixel graphics, looks amazingly detailed and atmospheric. This city is full of secrets. Explore this place as carefully as possible, inspect local attractions, interact with people, find hidden objects. The king of synthwave artifacts, who gave his music to the Mercury Man, will once again delight you with his magnificent works. The game is out tomorrow, and depending on the price point, this could be a pretty interesting pickup. Again, not a lot is known about it, but from a visual standpoint, it looks pretty cool, and I think overall the game is a rather interesting release. So that's gonna conclude this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that I not only brought attention to some of the major PC game releases coming tomorrow. The word major is a little bit subjective, but I would say the Surge 2 is a little major. I would say for the memes, I Love You, Colonel Sanders is gonna be a relatively notable release. Cat Quest 2 is probably gonna be awesome. Contra Road Corps has potential to be a train wreck or really good. Power Rangers is Power Rangers, and Noita and Chernobyl the Untold story could be two rather captivating games. I'll leave links to all of these in the description box down below, so if you do want to add them to your wish list, because I imagine very few of you will buy these games day one, but they're interesting games nonetheless. That's going to conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button, so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.